Hi, welcome to this YouTube chess channel. Thank you. Now, here is something I see a lot of when I'm watching videos of great players such as these two players that are in front of me or in front of you on the desktop of mine. So this is something I see quite a lot. And if you're watching Magnus Carlsen playing Blitz on the internet on Chess24, you'll see him do a lot of this and slurp and all that sort of stuff. Very important, very important, very important, very important, very important. Like developing. This is like developing in chess. Okay, now what do I bring you today? What I bring you today is the game that happened between these two players at the Candidates 2020 in Russia, between the USA and China, to find out who does who comes out on top. And so sorry about that. So anyway, this is round 3, and this is a game that was selected by other players around, other Grandmasters and that from around the world as being the best from that encounter. So this is round 3, and this game is coming up. Now, of course, white in the white corner is China, Grandmaster Loren, who is the same age as black, the second player, Fabiano Luigi Caruana from USA, Florida. They are both the same age, but I'm not going to tell you, they're both 27, but I'm not going to tell you who's got their birthday first this year, because it's still happening that both of them are going to be 28. So that's a wee bit of the history. Now, of course, Grandmaster Ding has had some earlier difficulties with having his country in lockdown, and so with the coronavirus, or the COVID-19 virus as it is known. So that he had some difficulty with that. And so here is a great encounter. This is a very, very good game. And I have a wee little few things to say about it as well too. But I would like to say that other than their age, about who's the slightly oldest than the other, you can find that out yourself, because like when I do a video, sometimes, unless it's my own game or Heather's game or something like that, I have to do a wee bit of research or that sort of thing. So it's not just, usually in the old days I would just bang a video up on the internet, okay? But now not so much. And I do want to show our flag, but I won't, because it should be in lights, really, shouldn't it? February 2019, Grandmaster Ding was third in the world, third highest rated. He has been he is the highest rated Chinese player of all time. So he's got the highest rating at 28.05 last 1 year ago. And however, with the black pieces and the black pieces, or the second player here is rated February 2020 at 28.42. So these are the two favourites coming up against each other yesterday's date, as far as I believe. So let's get on with this. Okay, let's go. Ready, set, go. I'll check that this engine is switched off, which it is. because otherwise it annoys some people, those arrows. Now, here we go. So this is very long play. So knight f3 is completely wrong. Sorry about that. The database has taken over here. So I'm going to load this game now. Okay, now I'll just check the engine is off so we get no more glitches. So thank you very much. I'll just take a sip. Bang. Okay, here we go. So we have a Slav, sort of like a Queen's Gambit Slav accepted sort of variation, that's what I could call it. Now the book main line is here is A4. This opening has been played even in South City Christchurch shopping centre. So South City, oh boy, I'm getting a bit of a tongue twister here. South City shopping centre here in Christchurch. Between myself as white and a friend of mine who is very, very good at lightning chess, where I sometimes just play A4 and he goes B5 straight away. So, and hangs on to that pawn. Hello Whistle, how are you? So he hangs on to that pawn quite a lot. So A4 prevents B5 because it's obviously going to be no good for black. And now black plays, pardon me, bishop F5. Yeah, very good move. Rather than E6, which is probably a move I might play. Bishop F5 is good because it restrains E4 from happening for white player or first player, and also it gets the bishop out from behind these pawns that can get in the way of it, the exit from C8. Hello Mr. Whistle. So we've got bishop F5 and then we have straight away knight E5. This is all very common, and white's just quickly getting their pawn back, and E6, and here we have either F3 or knight C4. Okay, so we have knight F3 played by Grandmaster Ding, and here comes bishop B4, which is all quite theoretical still. And now we have a variation here on the main theme. We have knight C4 coming up, knight C4 castling. And now we have a wee bit of a surprise move. It's not the sort of move I see in the mall played, is King F2. I've not got my analysis here, so I want to show you my analysis, but it seems to have gone west. So I'm just going to go through the main line. So E5 here is actually what we called in the old days a true novelty. This is really, really ferocious for black to play, and it gives white a little bit of difficulty, really, sort of thing. So bishop C2 and queen D2. And here we have C5 and D5, and bishop B3 and E4. Rook E8, and now what do we have? Was it queen F4? Yes, and knight C4 and knight D7 from B, and bishop E3, knight F8, bishop D4 and knight G6. Here the queen goes to F5, and then we have bishop c4, I believe, and bishop c4, queen c7 and bishop e2, bishop c5, bishop c5, queen c5 check, and king f1. A wee bit surprising, but we don't want to really go up to f1, up to g3 or back to e1. So here's h6. Now this is where I saw some analysis, so I won't go into too much analysis, okay? So I'll just keep it a wee bit sort of like tidy in that regard. So this is the analysis I saw from a Grandmaster of the world, which I'm not going to say from where. Your research might be able to find who did this. So after this move, which is the move that I thought of for black as well, rook e5 is queen h3, and then the Grandmaster's analysis was queen b4, rook b1, and guess what the analysis forthcoming was now from the Grandmaster was this move. Okay, now I won't tell you what Grandmaster said that with the idea of taking on c3, but as you can see there's a big red arrow here which denotes that the queen can just take the rook. So that analysis is rather not the best in the world. But it's all very well sitting here at home, but I mean I've made probably way bigger mistakes than that on this channel here for you. So here we go with the main line, which is h6. So this is a little bit sort of like not the greatest for the second player here, considering the e5 novelty that black played before. So here's rook d1, and here is a nice tidy setup for white, that white works out to save their make their positions more solid than leaving the rook on a1 sort of thing. I'm playing rook d2 here and queen e3 and rook c2. Now I believe rook e5, no, a6 and queen h3. So we didn't get rook e5. Maybe rook e5 is actually better, and we could think about playing moves like this, but white is ready for those moves. So we got b5 and we got queen g3. We're ignoring the a4 and the b5 combat going on at the moment. So b4 comes about, and then the knight swings back to d1. And here comes the queen b3, which pockets the a4 pawn, more or less by force, by rook d2 and queen a4. So white has now got a pawn up for their little bit of backward development, but it is a sound pawn at that, because if we look at these pawns in the endgame, this pawn here is going to be very, very, very good for white if white can harbour, can hold back this possible storm of black's pieces. So here we got queen f2 and queen d7 and g3. Now this enters the queen into the picture onto h3 check platform, and here white does not play queen g2, which is probably a move that I would probably play, but plays instead king g1. And here's a5, which is now eyeing up the, I'll better take a bit of more water because it might help me not make so many mistakes. So if you want to see Magnus Carlsen, that's what he does. He drinks this a lot. But he doesn't drink the whole bottle, he doesn't scull it down, but he drinks it a lot because it's very, very, very good for the brain. It's just as important for the brain as sleep. So, and food, but food is less, I don't want to go on record saying food is less important for the brain than water but they're all much of a muchness. Queen d4, and this is going to want to just play the knight to f2, and king g2. That's my way of looking at it. And here comes knight h5, so knight f2 happens. So there's no intermediate moves for black available, like knight g3. So the queen goes back to d7. Now comes a pawn roll, and at the same time f4 threatens this knight on h5. And if knight back here, then white merely plays here and does it merrily as well. Does it with lots of enjoyment. And then the knight has to go back here. Can't go here, of course, because it gets taken. The horse, of course. Can't take the pawn because the queen takes, and white is a piece up to the good. But knight h7, and just about, I think, just about anything. I probably would play this, to be absolutely honest. Or maybe just king g2 and rook hd1, etc. So that's no good for second player. So here the second player plays knight hf4, and so white captures, and here comes knight f4 and king f1, I believe. And then I think black starts to go queen d6, yes, and starts to march this a pawn, and here comes rook g1, which is a threat that everyone in the world can see, even that Grandmaster. Queen g7 is here threatened, or if you like, rook g7, which is a bit slower. So here comes, what happened next? Was it f6, or was it knight h5 is impossible. Was it knight g6? Might have been knight g6. F6. It was f6. And this restrains this move, but it wasn't going to move anywhere if that rook there on e8 and queen on d6, which are both restraining the move e5 from white. Now, one might go here now, but and look towards the king, but here is bishop b5 is what was played, and then I believe, sorry about that, rook e7 was played, and so white's naturally going here, I believe. Was it rook c2? No, it wasn't. Cancel. What was the move that white played now? Was it knight g4? I don't think so. Or was it rook g3? No, I've forgotten. Or was it bishop c6? It wasn't bishop c6. Was it b3? Yeah, it was b3. That's right. Because white is having to look after the a4 pawn march, maybe giving white some difficulty, especially the player of the second player of the black pieces here in this case. So b3, and now was it rook f8? Yep, and now comes I think now rook c2, yes. And after this, black should resign, maybe. Maybe black should resign. The whole piece down. But no, black doesn't resign. Black keeps on going. So good principle, very, very good. And I hear that white, Grandmaster Ding, was in a fighting mood. So knight's e6. So obviously we cannot take this knight. We can take it, but queen d4 will prevail over white's position. So back came this, which is threatening, among other things, is queen h6. and that sort of thing. So here's knight g5 and h4 and knight f7. Now comes rook c6 and queen b8. Sorry, I missed one also. And here is rook f6. No, queen c5. Because if we play Weegenaar's move, then the bishop is lost with check from the queen. So queen c5 is a very good move for white here, because now there's no contest of the c-file by either rook party or even the queen. Give it that. So here's queen d8, and now comes rook f6. Now it's safe to take this house on f6, and king h8, which threatens the rook, of course. So now the rook wants to move back to f5. Sorry, did move back, but not to where I remembered it going. So here's knight. Knight moves now, and there's a rook swap, I think. Oh no, there's not. Bishop c6. Not completely great, my memory. And here's a4 and ba4 and b3 and rook g3 and b2, because it's best to get behind the passed pawn in all cases for rooks. Never try, best not to get in front of the pawns. It's always best to get behind them. So here's rook b3, which is seeing this pawn on b2, ready to pick it up and put it in their coffee cup. Here's knight d6, so we have an exchange of the rooks. A pair of rooks go off the board, and here we got rook b2, and then we got is it queen f4? Yes. Now this this is, from my point of view, just bringing the queen into a place of power. And here's rook b8 and king h7, of course. No other move really, other than swapping the other pair off, and then it's a foregone conclusion completely. In fact, if rook b8, then that would not do. Oh, it'd be all right. Rook c8, be all right, but it's not the greatest. Queen c2. Now this is obvious. The threat is e5, etc. So black plays rook e7, and here's e5 anyway. Now here g6 is no good, so knight f5, and now what happened? We have king moved to e2, I think. No, it wasn't. It was it king g2? No, it wasn't g2. Can't be g2, David. We could go here, couldn't we? Almost, except for rook e5. And there's no threat of knight check here. What was the move now? I'll just have to find out. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. That was queen e4. And of course queen c1 does not win the queen c1 doesn't do very well, nor does knight g3 check, because we can't do knight g3 check because it's an illegal move. Now if queen takes queen here now, then white's position just plows on forward. So if now queen c1, king g2, oh, I've lost my game here. Okay, it's funny that should happen, isn't it? Queen c1, I've over done the game. G6, and here white was met with resignation because black has now covered all the important squares. We have, instead of rook e7 here, some analysis now. So instead of rook e7, we have this move here, g6, new variation. And then I believe the information that I've gathered from the internet, thank you, is rook d8 with the idea of swapping off this pair of rooks, which is, of course, really, really good for white. So I want to go back to another main line, which is in the opening, okay? And then that's the end of this session. And thank you very much for watching. And so my mantra, not mentor, my mantra is that I hope your chess gets better and better no matter where it's at and no matter where you're at in the world. So I hope your chess gets better and better, and that primarily at the end of the day, try as much as you can to enjoy your game of chess. So here we go. I'm going into the 30-minute zone nearly. So here we go. This is the analysis that I got earlier on. I'll just put my specs on. Reading glasses. Sorry. So here we got e4. Don't know where my analysis has gone, or not my analysis. Then we have what black generally plays is this. Oh no, sorry. Bishop e4, new variation. F e4, knight e4, and bishop d2 is the main sort of move, and black has this move and this move. So we'll look at this move mainly, which is, of course, black is threatening the knight on e5. So we have knight e4, queen e4, and queen e2, and bishop d2, and king d2. And this is the position that has been reached a lot of times. And so I thank you very, very much, and I'll just take what the Dutch call a slokkie of water, and I will leave you at that. So don't forget, your water is very important at the chessboard. Even if you're playing blitz or whatever, it's good to keep the brain hydrated with CO2. I believe it's CO2, isn't it? Water. Okay, bye. All the best.